What is up, Buttercups? This is DecreeB, and today we are going to be doing another Reading Your Comments. But before we get started, I just wanted to say a quick thank you to everybody who sent in questions or comments. I know I can't respond to them all, but I will try to get to as many as possible. But don't forget to leave your comments for next Sunday's Reading Your Comments down in the comments. Let's get comments. Blue Spartan 107 says, "Can you hear me?" Also, do you do collaborations with others who have a smaller subscriber count than you? One, I can't hear you actually. I can only see what you typed. Second of all, I don't think I've ever done a collaboration with somebody who's bigger than me. Everyone I've collabed with so far have had smaller subscriber counts than I do, and there is a bug on my light, and it's kind of annoying me. The two people I play most with, which would be my older brother and then Michael, or Shameless Gaming, they both have channels and videos and things, but they don't even really do it as a hobby. They just do it whenever they feel like it or whenever they can. But then as far as the other people who I've collaborated with, I basically just collaborate with whoever seems fun or interesting. It never really mattered to me if they had a lot of subscribers or a lot of views even. I just like to play with people who are fun to play with. Cord Plugged In asks, question 1, do you plan on backing ukulele and getting the demo for YouTube? Question 2, how did you start to get noticed on YouTube? First of all, I don't know what ukulele is. And second of all, how did I start to get noticed on YouTube? Well, the first video that I did that really got noticed is how to speak the dragon language from Skyrim, part 1 and part 2, but I never finished that series. But basically I had done that video and then I just left it there and didn't really do anything. I come back a couple months later, I see that it has a couple hundred views, I'm like, ooh, I'll do a second one. I did a second one, then I walked away from YouTube forever, probably a year or two, and then one day I ended up going back and I saw that it had almost 100,000 views and I had over 500 subscribers from it, and that was kind of crazy. And then I did a Toreador March remix from, you know, Five Nights at Freddy's theme, and that gained quite a bit of traction, and I ended up making a second one, taking out a bunch of the weird noises that I had thrown in it. But it had been noticed and it's got tens of thousands of views. It's doing pretty well. It was used in a Five Nights at Freddy's 4 fan game. One person did a video on it. Halfway through it actually played my song, and that video has like millions of views. Even though I didn't get credit for remixing the song and them using it in the game or in the video or whatever, didn't get any credit for that. It was still kind of cool seeing, you know, a million views, even if it's not my game, it's just my song, but whatever. It was cool. And then the obvious one was Dream.exe, where a lot of people started to come and notice. And those are the people who are still here today. But yeah, other than that, nothing really being noticed at all. Even a little. Ali the Eliotrope says, oh, which do you prefer, Pokemon or Digimon? Well, personally, I never played Digimon or watched Digimon or knew anything about Digimon whatsoever. I did, however, watch some of the Pokemon shows, and then I played a couple of the games, but I never really played past Generation 3, because at that point they started doing the DS games. I don't like the DS or 3DS games nearly as much as I like the Game Boy games. I like the classic ones because they're simple, they're efficient, and then the new ones, just the 3D, and they're trying to make all these different combinations. They're just making it way too complicated and complex, and I didn't even completely understand the first 3 generations when I played them, but basically Pokemon's gotten overly complicated for me to care about it all, but I still love the original Game Boy games. That style is the best style. But I guess that's just my opinion. I can see why people would still like it, because it's very complicated, complex, there's a lot of thought and strategy that goes into it. I just like straight playing them, just be able to pick it up, start playing without reading a manual or learning all the rules or learning all these things. I just like to I don't want to have to learn. I want to be able to figure it out as I go. That's personal preference. Siren Rin asks, do you think there are gold beyond rainbows, or do you think leprechauns are just greedy and keeps it to themselves? Well, obviously there's going to be gold at the end of the rainbows. Now here's a picture of me, obviously not photoshopped or doctored in any way, shape, or form, finding a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. My, that was a great day. Unfortunately, I spent them all on the Steam sale, so I had to go and get more. Luckily, I found another rainbow and a pot of gold with that. Unfortunately, that leprechaun didn't want to let go of his gold. Turns out I'm not stronger than a leprechaun. Connor Smith asks, A, what was your dream job as a kid? If YouTube didn't exist, what would you be doing? B, what is your dream car or motorcycle? And C, is there anywhere in the world you'd like to move to? First, A, what was my dream job when I was a kid? Well, in 8th grade, we had this thing called Reality Town, where we filled out these forms. We picked like 3 jobs that we wanted to do, and then based on our grades and our personalities and things, they would assign those jobs to us. We would have those salaries, and we'd also be given a family and pets and stuff like that, and then we'd have to go out and buy stuff like just a normal person. We'd have to get car insurance and health insurance, and we had to buy a house and a car, transportation, all that stuff. It was a ton of fun. The 3 jobs that I had applied for were a spy, like a secret agent, a musician, and a game designer. At that point, though, I wasn't too sure about game design, and I thought, you know, musician would probably be the best one for me. Unfortunately, I didn't get musician, and I'm not very cut out for a spy, so surprisingly, I actually got game designer as my 8th grade reality town thing. It's funny because my best friend actually got talent scout, and I didn't get musician, so apparently my best friend didn't think I was good enough to find me, discover me, and make me a real musician, but no, he didn't care. He didn't think I had the talent, apparently. And then from there on, I'm like, game design might actually be pretty cool. I took a class in 3D modeling, a class in 3D animating. I learned how to use Maya and stuff, but I never actually learned to make a real game. And then in my last year of school, I actually learned a 2D game developing program. But fun fact, that last game design class back in my last year of high school, I actually finished the entire class's material in less than 24 hours. And if you're wondering how that's possible, my last year of school was homeschool, and so they just like threw all our work at us. And if YouTube didn't exist, what would I be doing now? I don't know. I obviously don't make enough through YouTube to be able to live on. Not even close. So I need a job anyway. I'm just too lazy. B is, what is your dream car or motorcycle? And me being the non-guily guy that I am, I don't care. I just don't follow cars or motorcycles or sports for that matter, which is why I say a non-guily guy. I don't care about sports. I don't care about cars. I really have no preference. I don't know what cars are good and what cars aren't. I clearly know nothing about that. C, is there anywhere in the world you'd like to move to? Why, yes, actually, I think there would be a couple places that would be fun. But I always wanted to like live in and check out like the big cities. My family's always wanted to live like rural, out, acres of land, like 10 people in a town or whatever. And I'm like the exact opposite for God knows why. But I just want to like go out to the city and I want to experience that sort of end because I've never really been in a big city at all. So I always wanted to go to like LA or San Francisco or maybe even like England. I thought England would be a cool place to go and live. Harry Emmanuel, I believe is how you say his name, asks if I'm going to play Ark Survival Evolved and what are my thoughts on early access games. First of all, Ark Survival Evolved, that looks like an awesome game and I would love to play it. I just can't afford it. So no, I'm not going to be playing it, unfortunately. Not until it goes on sale more than like the 7% off it's been since it was released. And I plan to get it down the road, but for now, I think I'll stick to Reign of Kings. And what are my thoughts on early access games? Well, it depends on the company and how early the access is. For example, 7 Days to Die. I don't play it too much, but I know that the developers are constantly updating the game and adding tons of things that are new. And in the year that I haven't played it, they've probably changed so much that I would barely even recognize the game if I went back to it. Kind of like Minecraft had that alpha, beta, whatever. Everybody was playing it. People gave feedback, they got a ton of ideas, they made the game even better. That's how you do an early access game. However, then you have the people who make an early access game just to try and rope in some money and end up not even updating the game or finishing it or whatever. A great example of this would be Starforge. The developers, who I don't remember their names, they're the same people who made Reign of Kings though, so I hope they don't drop that game flat on its face again. But Starforge, it was really cool and it looked like a lot of fun and I was planning on getting it eventually, but it turned out after people stopped buying their game, they stopped updating the game. They said, ooh, we finished it, without finishing it. But they never finished it, they threw it out there and said, okay, we're done with it, we're moving on. Now granted, they did move on to start making Reign of Kings, which I enjoy a lot more than I probably would have enjoyed Starforge, but a lot of the people who bought Starforge are very upset that they just dropped the game flat on its face because they didn't finish it, and a lot of them, and I mean hundreds of people, are seeking refunds for that game right now because they didn't keep their promise and finish the game. That's not how you make a game. You don't make half a game, get everybody's money, and drop it and leave it, take their money and run. You don't do that. Gabe Smith says, epic parkour! Epic Face says, will you make a second channel all about your singing? And that reminds me, thank you to everybody who said nice things about my singing in the last reading of your comments. I really appreciate it, and I can't respond to all of you, but I seriously thank you all so much. And I know a lot of you said, ooh, you should do an actual full song this video. Well, I hadn't practiced, and I wasn't ready, so I'm not ready for a full song yet, but maybe next week. So comment some ideas for songs that I can learn to play in a week down below if you know any ones that are pretty easy and you want me to hear. Suggestions down below. I'm open to suggestions, but I'm gonna learn one. But anyway, Epic Face, I actually was planning on doing that quite a while ago. 8 or 9 months ago. A long time ago I wanted to do that, but I ended up never doing it just because I didn't know a lot of songs. I still really don't know a lot of songs at all, especially not a lot of full songs. But I actually had created the channel, I just never uploaded a cover video to it. And so maybe, I don't know, one day down the road, if I ever start playing more or whatever. And that's enough for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a comment, subscribe, share, like, all that fun stuff down below. Also remember to leave a comment for next week's reading your comments down in the comments below. So thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.